Today I'm going to share with you on presentation with impact. So this chapter is about how do we do the presentation. Presentation in two occasions. Yeah, one is how you give a speech. The other one is on how you are going to use your presentation aids, or what we call using your PPT, PowerPoint presentation, and so on. Yeah. So basically, the lecture for today is on that kinds of presentation. Okay, giving a speech, deliver a speech, and then how you are going to use your presentation aids in supporting your speech, your presentation. So in this lecture, topic 7, yeah, presentation with impact, I'm going to share with you 4 general objectives. Okay, 4 general objectives. The first one is what are the forms of presentation. Okay, and then how actually we identify the right topics. Okay, when we give a speech, a presentation, and in order to ensure that our presentation work well, attracted the audience, we need to have the ability to analyze the audience, knowing knowing the receivers. Remember, yeah, based on the communication framework. In communication, there are 2 parties. One is sender, the other one is receiver. So in the context of presenting, or in the context of giving a speech, you are the sender. The audiences are the receivers. So you need to be able to analyze your audiences, your receivers, in order for you to deliver a good presentation with impact. And then the speaking context is on the strategies of analyzing the speaking context. So all these are the 4 general ideas, the 4 general objectives of today's lecture, presentation with impact. Okay, there are reasons why we want to do presentation. Yeah, number 1 is to inform. For example, in many occasions, if you watch news, yeah, if you watch news, berita, yeah, watch news. News is kind of to inform, presentation to inform. And second one is to introduce. So just now I mentioned that when you first met with each other, you introduce yourself. So the idea is to tell people, to tell receivers, to tell the parties who you are, your background, and so on. So basically that is to introduce. And the third form is to persuade. Okay, to persuade here means you want people to listen to your presentation, and at the end of the day, those listeners, those receivers of the communication will say yes to whatever you are trying to propose. So basically, when you are doing your proposal, CSR, that CSR proposal is actually to persuade. In normal class, yeah, I'm referring to your situation nowadays, the context of the learning, in which we only have the online classes. Not actually, it is not a normal classes, in which a normal class is physical context, but because of COVID-19, we are having this online class. The persuasion form of presentation is actually asking for approval. Okay, asking for approval whether what we want to do is approved or not. So in CSR, you have to prepare a proposal, and later after you complete the project, you are going to do the report. But that's only for when we have the normal class, when we have physical contact. But in your case, I prefer to have only proposal report, proposal assignment, because you cannot go to the field and complete the project. So this will make the CSR assignment easier for you all, yeah, because you cannot do the physical contact. So proposal is to persuade, but report of the project completed, it is called to inform. Okay, to inform. And the fourth one, the fourth form of presentation is to entertain. So to entertain mean like you are watching actors and actress, they perform something. So this is to entertain. So in summary, the forms of presentation can be in the form of to inform, to introduce, to persuade, and to entertain. And in order to give to give a compelling presentation, compelling here means a nice presentation or attractive presentation. That is what we mean by compelling. Yeah, you must have three ideas in your presentation. The first idea is what actually motivate you to do the presentation. If you know the motivation, then you are going to present a good, you are going to deliver a good presentation. So far, I received 3 group assignment, yeah, on presentation video, and I consider all of them did a good job. And before I forget, I was understood by Seujin that the time, the duration of video presentation is 10 to 15 minutes, yeah. And some of you, some did more than 15 minutes, but I already emailed you. I already emailed them saying that please reduce the duration into 15 minutes maximum. So, and you need to submit it by this Sunday, yeah, 10 of January. Okay, why do we have to limit the video presentation, yeah? Not more than 15 minutes, because actually the best duration is 5 to 6 minutes. But I know due to there are many people in your group and you want all of them to participate, that's why your duration of video go beyond 10 or 15 minutes. But please reduce your video into 15 minutes maximum. If you can have 10 minutes, that is wonderful, but I think difficult because you want everybody to have their statements inside the videos. But at the end of the day, it is more on the creativity, the creativity of presenting your project proposal in the form of video. The reason why we want to limit it into 15 minutes to avoid boringness. Okay, to avoid boring. Because when we talk more than normal hours of video presentation, people will be chased away. What I mean is people will not finish watching your video. In which the idea is to make sure that when people watch your video, they watch it from the first second until the last minute. So that is the idea why in video presentation we need to reduce the time, the duration, yeah, to avoid boringness. All right. So if you know the motivation of your presentation, you will have more creativity. Okay. If you don't know the motivation, then it is simply completing an assignment. When your mindset, when your motivation is only to complete the assignment, then the attractiveness will not be there. Okay, so you must know what motivates you to do something. If you know what motivates you to do something, then you are going to do a good presentation. Similar like when people giving speeches. When people giving speeches, if you notice, some speakers, they speak very nice listening to them because they have motivation. So when we give a speech, we must know what motivates us. And until we know what motivates us, then we are going to give a good speech. The second thing is when we give a presentation or speech, yeah, we must have the credibility. Credibility here referring to that if you talk about a topic, you must make sure that you understand the topic. If you want to talk about issues, you must know the issue very well. Yeah. So this is what we call credibility. In some instances, credibility referring to, for example, yeah, my background is human resource management. Okay, my PhD, philosophical degree is on human resource management. So if I am invited to give a talk on, for example, sulfur. Do you know what is sulfur? SULFUR. It is a chemical, lah kan? I'm not going to be an interesting speaker on that particular topic because sulfur or whatever sciences is not my field. In that instance, if I proceed with giving a speech on the chemical things, my lecture, my speech could be boring because I am not credible to talk about that field because my field is human resource management. So this is how we apply the credibility. Yeah? And the third one is uniqueness. So if you notice my video, yeah, my video, I believe, did you watch my video, Kak, going to the hill? Have you? Naik bukit ada kan? So basically my ideas to ask Ujin to post in Telegram so that you all can watch my video is not to promote myself. Actually, the idea why I posted it in Instagram, I dedicated all the videos to you actually, to all of my students, because I want you all to be creative in making a video. Be creative and make sure not the whole video, yeah, you are just sitting there and talking. You must have action in your video. For example, yeah, I don't know how you are going to put the action in your video because you cannot go to the field, the CSR one. But somehow, if you are creative, your video should look alive, not dull, not static, not passive, because that is the criteria that I'm looking at. So basically, my purpose of sharing videos going to the jungle and so on, yeah. In fact, I do some, a lecture only in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and the longest is 5 minutes. The idea is how do we creatively show people about what we are doing, and what we are doing is actually can benefit many people, human and so on, and even non-human. So that is the element of uniqueness I'm talking about. When you manage to do a good presentation and people enjoy watching your video, that means you are creating the uniqueness. Okay, from nobody you become somebody. When you come to the stage, when you go to the stage, deliver a speech. Okay, deliver a speech. At the end of the day, your expectation is that you manage to give a very a good speech. Okay, that is the ideas of you going to the stage, deliver a speech. The idea is for you to deliver a good speech, but your interpretation of good speech could be different from the interpretation of the audiences on what is the good speech. And so because of that, that's why I share with you these three things, yeah? Motivation, credibility, and uniqueness. If you have these three criteria, yeah, in your speech, people will salute you. People will feel enjoyable listening to your speech. So basically, in order to give a speech, a good speech, you need to have motivation, you have to be credible enough, and you also have some form of uniqueness in your presentation. Okay. All right, so for this slide, I want to share with you all some forms of presentation in academic setting, okay, in professional setting, in academic setting. So basically, in academic setting, we have oral presentation, we have symposium, colloquium, forum, and panels. Okay, for example, oral, yeah. If you further your study, postgraduate study, you are going to do your postgraduate study in which you need to undergo viva voce and so on, viva voce, to pass the exam on your postgraduate, master or PhD. This is what we call oral presentation. Okay, and then symposium. Symposium is like conference. Okay, conference when you present your research in front of the large audience. Colloquium basically meant for for postgraduate students, those postgraduate students who are about to complete their proposal defense, for example, proposal, or to end their study. So they are encouraged to present their findings in the colloquium. Forum, you know lah, forum kan, in television show there are many forums in the publics. Okay, we have some credible panels, and we have moderator and so on. But panel is more on, for example, in court cases, judiciary panels and so on. So basically, these 5 are the forms of presentation in academic setting, or what we call professional setting. And this is I share this with you all just for your general knowledge, yeah. And also, some forms of presentation are meant for the purpose of, as you can see in the slide, eulogy. Eulogy is you can witness, yeah, some form of presentation during the funeral. Okay, during the funeral, so there is a talk over the dead body, yeah, on the grave. So this is form of eulogy. You are saying good things about the person who is passed away. And also toast, if you aware that toast is a form of presentation where people are, attending a club or association to improve the speech and the presentation. Maybe you hear about Toastmaster Club, for example. Recognition usually during the award seminar, award event. In entertainment industry, they have this event and so on. So when the actor or the actors, the celebrities receive the award, they give some speech. So this is kind of recognition as well. Dedication, of course, you dedicate something when you have an event and you purposely organize the event in memorable of someone or something. So you are going to do the dedication. And commemoration is a significant an event in which an institution, for example, memorizing something referring to the institution. For example, last year UMS was in its 25th years of celebration. Yeah, UMS was first established in 1999. So after 25 years, which is last year's, we actually have the celebration. So this is form of commemoration, and in the commemoration usually we have an event in which many dignitaries or the head of the institution will share something about the establishment of particular institution. That is one example. So far, okay, Kak?
Okay.
So far, okay, yeah? Okay, don't worry if I speak too fast because you have the notes, and I hope that you will refer back to the notes. I'm not going to share one by one or each point in the slide. Usually, if you notice, yeah, things or points written on the slide, I sometimes did not touch about it. I only give you the general ideas. But at the end of the day, the important points is that you need to read the slide, yeah. And in order for you to understand the slide, that's why I give different types, different statements compared to the slide as a support for you to understand better the slide. And please remember that you need to also refer to the textbook if you subscribe it, or you refer to the Google, yeah, every term in the slide. And if you have problem, you may email me, no problem. Ask me, sir, I don't understand about this one and this one. No worry, yeah. If you email me, I will answer you. Okay, so how to identify the right topics? So we have A, B, C, D steps in identifying a topic. Usually, when you are given assignment by your lecturers in other classes, yeah, in other classes, I believe that in other classes, some lecturers already give you a topic for a small project, and in which you are asked to write about something, issues, for example. So basically, the assignment will not specifically give you the title. Okay, the lecturer who gave you the assignment, I'm referring to other classes, yeah. They are not going to give you a specific topic, but you are the one who make up the title, because the lecturers maybe only give you the general idea. So you come up with the specific topic. So this is so in order to identify, to build your good topic, you need to apply step A and B. Okay, step A and B. Maybe in your other classes, when you are assigned to do a topic, so the lecturer give you the general topics, and you may work it in a group. So the first step is you need to brainstorm among you, yeah. Brainstorm among you. What is the good title in order to write about the topic? Okay, so basically step A and B work together, yeah? Work together until you brainstorm, get the ideas from the members. Will you be able to come up with the right title, the good title? So A and B is attached to one another. Then that is the title that you are satisfied about. But what about the audience? Whether the audience like to hear the title or not. So again, when you come up with topic, it doesn't mean that that is the best topic. You must suit your topic with the context. Context here referring to the situation in the community, the situation in the state, the situation in the national, the situation in the global. So here we are referring to the what make audience interested to hear. So this is step C. Step C, you are matching your topic with what people want to hear, what people want to listen. Okay. Remember last time I share with you the difference between hearing and listening. Yeah. Hearing is when we hear something but we didn't feel it. That is hearing. Masuk telinga kanan, keluar telinga kiri. That is hearing. In management we have this term called GIGO. GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. So mostly when we do hearing, we are practicing GIGO. So in order for the audience to, be attracted to our presentation, we must make sure that they are listening, not hearing. Listening means when we tell people about something and people really appreciate it, then people will follow up with doing whatever we are advising. Okay, so that is see, we must match the title with what audience want to hear, to listen, and then finally only then we are able to identify the right topics for the right occasion. So these are the steps, A, B, C, D. In order to deliver a good presentation, it is not about us, It is not about us, but it is about people who are listening to us, the receivers. In any communication, without receivers, there is no communication. So in order to deliver the good speech, we need to be able to analyze the audience. How are we going to analyze the audience? So these are the demographic characteristics. So when you attending or when you deliver a presentation, give a speech in any event, you have full of audiences, and in these audiences we can differentiate them in terms of gender, male and female, in terms of age, young and old, in terms of religion, and so on. Okay, so this is what we call demographic characteristic. Unless you know the demographic characteristic, then you can penetrate the audience, and you can share something that our audience really like. So very important, demographic characteristic. And if you know the demographic characteristic very well, you can avoid bias statement, you can avoid negative perception, and you can avoid misconception. Okay, so that is very important. When you need to know who are attending your presentation. All right. And in improving the skills of giving a talk, giving a presentation, you have to learn these three characteristics as posted in the slide. Yeah, visual learners. Visual learners means what types of aids. Okay, what type of aids? Is I'm referring to your PowerPoint, whatever things that you bring to the stage that you want to show to the audiences, and audiences like it. When they see it, they like it. So this is what we call visual learners. Auditory learners is more on how you make full use of your vocal. I already share with you the vocalics in topic 2, I think, non-verbal communication and verbal communication. So you know when to stress particular words in your speech, so that people will pay attention to your presentation. Kinesthetic learners referring to action, your action, your body movement, your action on the stage. For example, when you give presentation, you are not standing still. For example, my video that I posted in Insta, I do a lot of movement, and I even play with the waterfall. And then if you watch my Insta, when I found a small stream in Nululapai, for example, not many people aware that there is a small stream in Nululapai. Nululapai is in Gayang, Gayang. So when COVID is over, you all can make a trip to Nululapai hiking, hiking is my favorite hobby. Almost every weekend in the morning, 5:30 until 9 o'clock in the morning, I was somewhere in the jungle. My hobby number one is hiking. Hiking and jungle trekking. You know what is the difference between jungle trekking and hiking? When the place that we are going to do that types of activities, yeah, recreation activities, has a lot of I use simple word like jungle. So that is what we call jungle trekking. But if the place that we are going to do the recreation activities without jungle, forest, and so on, that is called hiking. For example, mountain climber, that's kind of hiking. Okay, but nowadays people don't bother about hiking or trekking. When they do hiking, they said, when they do jungle trekking, they said that they are hiking, which is actually not right, yeah, not right word to use. Hiking is more rougher, yeah, hiking is rougher, tougher, but trekking, you are enjoying the nature. So I prefer trekking, but I always use hiking. Okay, so now, okay, effective speakers understand and adapt to their speaking context. This is the kind of the fourth general objectives in the learning objective, in which the speaking context. So the speaking context here referring to how you are going to use your speaking verbal communication ability. How are you going to use your verbal communication abilities so that from your first word until your last word is going to be people really enjoy listening to. Okay, in which if you look at the screen here, look at the distraction. Okay, distraction. There is an occasion, yeah. There is an occasion where, when people giving a speech, some group of the audience seems want to make a trouble. Okay, want to make a trouble, especially in the politics form of presentation event. So how actually you can go over the distraction? So this is the skills that you need to be able to to have when you give a presentation, because of course in many presentation, when you deliver a speech, people will be silent. But assuming that you are attending a speech where people like to make a problem. So this is the distraction, and how you are going to get over this distraction. You must go back to the three compelling ideas I shared with you in the previous slide: your motivation, your credibility, and your uniqueness. If you have these three, then whatever distraction people trying to give at your presentation, it will not a successful distraction. Okay. Okay, so far okay kah? So far okay. Rada. Semua tidak tertidur kah? Oke kan?
Oke, sir.
Oke, sir.
Okay.
Masih lagi ini.
I continue ya. So in giving a presentation with impact, okay, in ensuring, in making sure that your presentation will have an impact, you must know how to write the speech. I'm not referring to you must write a speech then you deliver. No, what I'm trying to say is what actually the content of your speech. Okay, remember some form of presentation, people are doing it spontaneously or impromptu. Some people scripted it first, then they read the script, for example. But the idea is whether you are impromptu, whether you are spontaneous, or whether you write things and you read it, and then you do give the presentation, the most important thing is what is the content of the speech. Okay, what is the content? Unless you know how to craft, how to prepare the good content, then your presentation will be considered as a good presentation. People are appreciating attending your talks because you are giving a good content. Okay, so you must, in order to do that, you must know what is the purpose statement, what is thesis statement. Basically, this purpose statement, thesis statement, we apply in written communication, yeah. But somehow, when we do presentation, verbal presentation, we are actually repeating those things that we are writing on, that we are writing. So we want to share it with people, so it becomes verbal communication as well. So the purpose statement is what is the general ideas that you want to talk about, that you want to share with the audience. And in order to make sure that people know the general purpose, then you must have the thesis statement. Thesis statement is what actually people expect from you. Okay, you have these general ideas, and then when people attending the speech, the presentation, they return home by having some important points. So this is what we call thesis statement. Okay. In making sure in giving a speech or deliver a presentation, there are two types of information. Yeah, there are two types of points. One is main points. Main point is what actually you want to highlight. You want to highlight in your presentation. So these are some of the steps. Some of the steps on how to make sure that the main points can be highlighted successfully, so that audience will understand your deliverance, your presentation. In order to make sure people more understand your speech or presentation, you must also have support points. Okay, support points. Support points are those points included in the main point, but you detail it further. Okay, you detail it further. So this is what we call sub point. Okay, so in any speech, when you develop a speech, you must have the main point, and in order to ensure that people understand better the main point, you must have few supporting points or sub points. So these all are basic in preparing speech. What is most important is always make an impression. Okay, good impression, first impression when you deliver any presentation. That is why if you are given 10 minutes or 7 minutes or 5 minutes in the interview, okay, in the interview, your first 3 minutes is the most important, is the most crucial minutes. Okay, your first 3 minutes during interview, yeah, because the rest of the minutes is just for the interviewer to test your additional ability or knowledge. But that first 3 minutes is actually the time whereby the employer, the interviewer, deciding whether to employ you or not, to recruit you or not. So that is why when we give a presentation, speech, and so on, the first 3 minutes is very important. The first 3 minutes. For example, I myself, when I watch CSR videos from your seniors in previous semester, the first 3 minutes, okay, then I finish watching the video. The first 3 minutes not okay, then I only browsing the rest of 10 minutes or 12 minutes. So that's why when you make a video, make sure, this one I noticed, yeah, because some of you when you do your video, your group leader talk blah 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 blah, very static. So when the first, your first 3 minutes, that kind of static, that kind of passive, it will not make me to complete watching the video. So that's why the purpose why we have this video assignment is to make sure that students in UMS know actually how to penetrate audience when they are going after they are graduated and employed in many sectors. Remember that nowadays it is about technology. If you are able to use the technology wisely, then you will be a good human resource. Okay, so very important first impression. So at the end of the day, when we deliver a speech, a presentation, it is about introduction and the contents of introduction, and finally the conclusion. Remember, during the introduction, it is about making first impression, but at the end of the day, the conclusion, it is about memorable impact. Okay, so in between impression and memorable impact, the content, as you can see in the slide, is not. No, I'm not saying they are not important. No, but the first impression and the impact is the crucial one. Yeah. The content, you just follow the tips, but the first impression and the final conclusion impact is very important. And in making sure that your presentation is not boring, is not dull, is not static, is not passive, but what else? You must know how to use these 3 elements here. Okay, the first is preview and summarize. Second, signpost, and the third one is non-verbal communication. I'm referring to when you give presentation to avoid boring, passive, and so on. You have to know when you are going to do previewing and summarizing. Previewing means when you deliver points in your speech, you must relate it to some facts, you must relate it to issues, you must be able to relate it to any academic academic records that will support your presentation. That is preview and summarize. Summarize means when you talk too much, sometimes people forget what actually you have been talking for the past 1 minute or 2 minutes. So you need to have summarizing in between the points. And signpost is more on cause and effect, sequence of event. It must be in sequence, more in sequence. And I'm looking at non-verbal communication is very important. If you remember last time, Mehrabian model. Okay, Mehrabian model, 55% is body language, 38% voice and tones, and only 7% the content or the language. So non-verbal is very important. So far okay kah? Hello? So far okay?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah. I try to end it by 5 o'clock, yeah. So okay, and then the following slide is on your presentation aids, yeah, supporting materials. So in giving a speech, for example, these are some of the elements that you can use to make your speech interesting. Okay, the important point is the qualities of supporting materials should be able to show the credible points, the credible information, objective, not subjective, in which people easy to understand. Don't make people create perception. That's what we call objective, yeah. And people don't want to listen what happened before or in the history. People want to know how the past is actually related to the current situation. So if you use past in your presentation, in your speech, make sure it is related to the current. Okay, don't just simply the past history or story. You need to be able to increase attention. So actually the presentation aids, supporting material we use, so that it will increase the attention of audience and support the ideas, support learning, and the aids or presentation aids that you are using can relate to things that is vague to the audience, in which they can improve the recall. Yeah? And in doing presentation or speech, remember when I asked you to do the video, avoid, I think Seujin already mentioned it, avoid using songs, yeah, copyrighted song, because this is what we call intellectual debt. If you use a song or movie, make sure it is approved to be used. Okay, otherwise you are using them illegally just for the purpose of making your video interesting, which is cannot be done that way. Yeah? This is what we call intellectual debt, copyright infringement. And in writing, sometimes students, when they are given assignment, they copy bulat-bulat. They copy and they paste in their assignment. So this is plagiarism. Avoid this thing because these are what we call intellectual debt. Okay, it's almost 5 o'clock. I think the rest of the slide is not that. Okay, this one and this one is supposed to be omitted. I forget. It's more on the, rehearsing and delivering successful presentation. I think this one you just read through. It is an additional information on how to do presentation. Focus on this one, yeah. Focus on this one. Actually, this slide is very important, very crucial. There are going to be some question on this slide alone. Yeah? You just look and read through, browse through. It's easier to understand. Yeah. For example, how to deliver a successful presentation. Indirectly, I mentioned about impromptu. Okay, scripted in my sharing just now. Yeah. So, and visual elements. This is more on the non-verbal communication, which can aid your presentation, make it attractive. Also, indirectly, I mentioned about vocal elements and non-verbal communication. Okay, for stage fright, there was a research by scholars in United States of America. Yeah, they asked question to a group of people, and the question is, what is the most frightening things to do? So the result of the research said that giving a speech, or what we call stage fright. So it's okay to jump from the top of the floor, but in making a speech is a very scary one. That is the finding of the research lah. I don't know whether it's true or not. I still remember the first time when I give a speech in front of people. I'm trembling and I'm shaking too much. But after I did that, I had the experience. I'm no more frightening in giving a speech. Okay, so my point is that until you try, then you know whether you are a good speaker or not. Okay, the most important thing is must know the three things. Yeah, motivation, credibility, and uniqueness. If you have motivation, you are good in what you are talking at, and you add elements of uniqueness, then you are in good shape. Okay, good shape that you can avoid stage fright. Engage audience. This is how you engage audience. Okay, don't look at the audience as your enemy. This is the tip. Look at the audience as your family. Okay, look at the audience as your friends, as your family, and then look at them as your enemy. If you look at your audience as your enemy, then you are going to have hard time delivering a speech. So whenever the audience arguing, don't straight away saying they are wrong. Okay, try to say yes, but not really a yes. I don't know how you are going to do it, but in my case, when people, during Q&A during Q&A, asking me about things that I gave speech on, I will, first of all, I will say thank you very much for that wonderful question. See, we try to, gain their respect first, even though we know that they are trying to, distract the attention of the rest of the audience to the attractiveness of your speech. But that is how the skill. Okay, this skill only can be built if you experience stage fright. Basically, that is what I'm trying to say. So for the rest of the slide, it's more on the elaboration of the stage fright. Yeah? So you just read it through, and I think that's all for today. As I said, I just want to have 1 hour of your time in respect of some of your friends who are using mobile data kan. So hopefully my 1 hour lecture is okay. Anybody have question? Semua okay? Everything is okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. If you have any question, you can email me. No worry. If you email me, I will reply. If you have question, don't just simply email me. All right. And you can also refer to Sir Ujin. Yeah? If you have any issues, especially on your assignment. Next week, or maybe next week, we are going to have another asynchronous class. Yeah. Asynchronous class like what we have last week, in which I will upload videos in YouTube for next week. Yeah, maybe next week we don't have class because I already planning to have asynchronous learning next week, so that I'm going to upload videos on.